You're listening to the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by Referral Mortgages and Blue Panda Realty, with your hosts, Paul Stevenson, David Warren, and Greg Campbell. Let's see what's going on in the world of real estate in our nation's capital.
Yeah, here we are. I'm changing settings every week. You never know what to expect here. I'm just going to show up with an ocean in the background one week, maybe.
Can't wait.
We're open, baby. Phase 1, Ottawa Real Estate Podcast. We're back. My name's Paul Stevenson. I'm here with Gregory Campbell, David Warren. I am one of the proud owners of Referral Mortgages here in Ottawa, which is a mortgage brokerage. We help clients get the best mortgage possible. We have 30 lenders. We like to help you. David is my business partner. We also host the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast. Greg Campbell is a partner at Blue Panda, which is a real estate brokerage, and they help people find homes. Greg helps them find homes. We help them finance it. That's how it goes. It's the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast.
Winning combination.
How's it going, gents? How's the week?
It's a good team. Good. Very interesting. Should I just get right into this?
Dive in.
I got lots to say. So I had some wins, and I had some losses, and I have many complaints. So I have a new listing up in Orleans, 519 Aram Terrace. It's amazing. If anyone's watching, go check it out online. The website is www.orleansdream.com. I also have a listing back on the market. It fell through at 155 Teal Crescent. Everybody go and check that out. That one's listed at $380,000. And I had some scenarios happen this week where, it's still multiple offers. I'm bidding, and the agents just aren't responsive. So you'd think that if you're working for your seller and you have a property that's listed and you're holding offers, you think that you would just be available all the time, right? Everyone assumes that, right? And then you're just not hearing back. And I actually had one client who was going to submit an offer on a property, and because this agent wasn't getting back to me, he just decided not to. He's like, I just feel like there's something wrong with the house. This agent's not doing the job for his seller, so it's making me nervous, and I'm not going to offer on this property. So we didn't, and there was only one other offer on the property. They went with that, but they could have probably got more money for that house. So it's just something to note that it's just seriously unprofessional, and I can't believe it, but the amount of agents that are being unresponsive and not doing the work, especially in a market like this where it's very high emotions, high stress, it's just unacceptable. And I want people that are, in those scenarios who are clients working with agents, just be on your agent, because if you feel that something's wrong, it probably is. And they're working for you and they should be working for you. So if you need to kick their ass or fire them, do it. Because I'm seeing some things that just are not cool, and there's a lot of us talking about it. So just something for buyers and sellers out there to know. Make sure you know who you're working with and they're actually representing you to the full potential, and they're not missing calls and missing deals or situations that can help you buy or sell.
I think that's important to point out, is that it's not like, if your agent's telling you that they're, heading away for the weekend, they're going to be offline, and your home's listed for sale, might be time to look for a different agent. You want someone that's going to be working for you and responsive and basically, available. Like, the last thing you need is people calling, trying to put an offer in, or you calling an agent, trying to put an offer in and not even being able to get a hold of them. That sounds like a nightmare.
It is. It's anyways, I just had a couple bad experiences with it. So I wanted to let people know that it exists, and that I just felt that the client wasn't being put first, and that the agents were just expecting, I'm just going to put this property up for sale and it's going to sell over list price. I'm not going to have to do any work, and it's not helping anybody. It's not helping the industry. It's not helping their client.
And how do you at at your brokerage, Greg, is this something that as one of the owners, are you preaching that to, all of your agents or do you guys have an internal dialogue about being responsive or kind of the strong ethics within the community? I would imagine you guys do, but maybe you can kind of elaborate on how you guys treat that.
That's a good question. I mean, we meet, we have a weekly meeting and we have new agent meetings once a week as well, so that they're aware of, what to do. And we just talk about, exactly, like ethics, what's going on in the market, how to deal with certain scenarios. But I don't, what you're bringing up and what we're talking about, I don't think it hasn't really been needed because we all do quite well and everybody, it never seems to be an issue. But that said, I think, next meeting, I'm going to bring it up and just make sure that everybody's on point because, to get those bad reviews or for someone to find something out, like all it takes is one, and then the whole, and then all of a sudden it's, it's like dominoes.
We had, years ago, there was a lot of stigma around brokering as well. I know when like mortgage brokering, there was, you get one or two bad apples in the bunch. And it kind of ruins the industry for everyone. And I was fearful of actually talking a few weeks ago when we were talking about these, special circumstances. I was concerned that it might actually deter people from getting into the market because they're, we're kind of exploiting these negative circumstances. But as I alluded to it last week, this isn't the norm. This is a very small percentage of people that are doing this, but again, it ripples through the whole industry, as you said, Greg, and it kind of leaves that sour taste in people's mouths.
And there's too much of that happening lately. We're seeing it in the comments that we're getting and the conversations that we're having. And again, like to your point, Paul, it's very, very valid. Like, don't be afraid. Just listen to the Ottawa Real Estate Podcast and, get the right information and just do your research, find the right people, because there are, brokers and agents out there that are not doing their job and they need to be outed. But, what can you do? I mean, it's like that in any industry. It's just sad that with a market so aggressive as it is right now, that it's happening quite a bit.
I think something to your point though, Greg, of, kind of that public service announcement of you can't be afraid as a client, as the owner, the owner of the property or the buyer to fire the person you're working with, whether that's the bank you're working with, the mortgage broker you're working with, or the realtor. I mean, if it's something that you don't feel is you're being treated unfairly, or something like you said, if something feels off, it probably is, or bring it to light and have those conversations. Don't go through the process to then on the other side feel duped, because it is one of the largest, or is the largest purchase or transaction that you will have made to date, or that you will make in your lifetime. And you need to make sure you're surrounded with people that are ethical and professional, and treat that
and prioritize you like that. I think that's the most important thing. Like if you're dealing with an agent that, like I said, is just turning their phone off for 4 days when your home's listed, that's not the right agent. That's not the person you want to be working with. But as a first-time buyer or seller, you might not be aware of that. You might just think, oh, okay, well, I guess this is how it goes. This is, I guess we're stuck with, and there's a lot of great agents. There's a lot of great agents out there, obviously. Right. Mm-hmm. It's just, this last week, dealing with this market the way that it is, and that's another thing, like, talk about the market. We're seeing price increases, price decreases, homes selling over list, homes selling under list. And so many homes available to see now. I think the average is still 50K over list, what we're seeing. But like yesterday, I won one. They were listed, at 700,000, and we went in and we were the only offer. We went and saw, and these clients were from overseas, so that was even a little bit more stressful because they're putting a lot of trust in you. But we went in at full price. And, the worst case scenario happened. They didn't get any other offers, but they countered us 750 because that's what the seller wanted. Right. And we ended up taking it. And in the end, I still think it was, it's fair market value, but we're seeing stuff like that. So when you're a buyer going in, like, the education is imperative. And you have to be prepared for what ifs. It's very much more what if
as opposed to months ago when it was just like, no, you're guaranteed you're paying 100,000 over no matter what. Yeah. Now it's just, it's all over the place. And the conversations with clients is, I don't want to say it's frustrating because as a professional, what is my professional opinion? When it's like, it could sell, is it going to sell under list or over? Not sure, probably over. And then we don't get offers and all of a sudden there's offers again and it's on the markets, it's off the market. Yeah, it's wild.
Now, there has been a lot of homes that have come on the market, right, in the last month, like record breaking even.
Yeah. I think there's 3,200. There was 3,200 new listings in May, and that's 89% increase versus last year.
Yeah,
I mean that's pandemic stat too, but it's 11% over the 5-year average.
That's good. I mean, that's almost 1% of the homes in Ottawa that was listed.
It's big. Yeah. It's a big number, and I haven't seen this many homes at once. Like, I mean, I've got some new buyers actually that I met, found me through the podcast. Shout out to Dave and Cass. We're going out tomorrow. We're hitting
paving Cass
and CP. Yeah, so they're great couple. We met the other day on a Zoom call.
I actually have to.
That's the thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say I got to make a quick apology to KTP. So we had a client that was a listener that had commented on the YouTube video, and when we did the analytics on the demographics, we realized that there's a very large portion of our listeners that are males. So we kind of made the poor assumption that KTP was in that 98% of male listeners. But KTP was a female, and we wanted to just apologize for the.
She's our only female listener.
Yeah, so. She's the one. She's the one. So sorry, Greg, you were saying you met them. You're going out to CP.
What was I saying? Yeah, we're going up, but it's great because a few months ago, you'd probably go out and see one or two, but now I think we've got 6 or 7 to see on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. That there's options for them. But yeah, man, it's still a seller's market overall. Like there's still, and I had a good comment from a client yesterday. We were talking about vaccinations and, saying like, how is that going to affect the market? Like if people are vaccinated, then it's kind of like they don't want to sell anymore because they just want to be out doing stuff.
Well, I think it's the opposite. I think people are more confident to go out and be in the market and have people through their home and.
Yeah. And I said, exactly. And people more vaccinated means that there's going to be more people moving to Ottawa. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They'll be ready to
this
go.
Is pretty,
people that might've been on hold.
Pretty impressive. Pandemic's been going on for 18 months, however long it's been. First time we've mentioned it, I think, on the podcast. That's a testament. A testament to our professionalism in real estate. No, I was just going to say that you were saying earlier that the advice is like the conversations that you're having. I mean, for David and I, probably 95% of our job is advice based. Like the actual transaction of getting the mortgage is at the very end. Like, there's sometimes years of advice and conversations that go on before we even get to the point where we're getting a mortgage or where the clients even find a house. Like a lot of our job and our position is just advising clients about how to structure their file, how their income relates to what they can get, how their down payment's going to work, what sort of credit they need, like it's really advice-based lending. And then the mortgage is kind of the final piece of that puzzle. But, 95% of our job is just conversations. It's not the actual mortgage. And I'm sure that's the same for you, Greg. It's like understanding what are you actually looking for? What are your goals? Setting the proper expectations. And I think a lot of agents aren't focusing on that advice side of it. I shouldn't say lots of agents. The outliers that we're hearing these stories about are very likely not focusing on that advice. They're focusing on, as you said, they think they're going to list it. It's going to sell really quickly. And when it doesn't, then it's like, oh, well, this is now almost an inconvenience, right? Well, shit, now I got to actually try to sell this house,
You nailed it. It's like it's an inconvenience for them. It blows my mind. And it's so frustrating when I'm dealing with my clients and they just can't believe it. And, and I'm sitting there kind of thinking like, do they believe me? Like, do they believe me that this is happening? And I know that they do, but still I have that moment. Like, am I not doing my job here? Like I should be able to get a hold of these people. Like, and that's how I felt like all this last week was just just up and down. And I've got so much going on that when the conversations are the same but different, and then you throw this into the mix, like this shouldn't even be happening. I shouldn't be stressed about like contacting an agent and not being able to have a conversation.
I have to get a hold of them by Monday, otherwise we're going to lose the deal.
But I got some compliments, and I had two other agents that were dealing with me on a listing, and they said to me, they're like, "Thank you for picking up your phone and having a conversation with us about getting the deal done." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" They're like, "Well, we've just been having a hard time communicating with agents. So it's not just me." And then of course,
nothing's been open. Where are these people? Until today, you couldn't even be at a restaurant. You can't travel. Like, what are you doing? What hole are you hiding in? Why can't you pick up a phone? Why can't you reply?
Especially if you have a house listed, like that is literally your income. Like but how is that?
Emails, text, call, nothing. Hear back 8 hours later with like a one line, "Yes, I'll look into it." It's like, geez. Why I oughta.
Oh man. But go ahead, David.
I was just going to say to kind of pivot a little bit off of
let's do it.
Off of this, and also
Definitely.
to one of I forget who made the comment about with vaccination rates and all that, and people becoming more comfortable. That I think, Greg, you said that you think that more people start moving to Ottawa. Or coming back to or relocating around the country. There was an article in the Citizen talking about, I think it's actually this morning's article, talking about right now they've been over the past 3 years working with the planning committee and getting a lot of input from the community. So I will say that they're still taking input. There's been apparently 100,000 residents, which is a record for them on a municipal topic that have been commenting on, as it does affect your immediate neighborhoods. But what the official plan will be for building out Ottawa over the next 25 years. So, we've talked about a number of times that there's always this discussion of the 15-minute, living within your community or living within a 15-minute distance of your home. And so it's really going through what that looks like from intensification, all of that. And so it was really, it's really interesting. They were stating that over the next 25 years, there'll be a need in Ottawa for 49,000 new homes, new family-sized dwellings, in addition, like over and above what they're building now, and have outlined. So I know weeks ago, or even months ago, there was some comments in some of the posts of how many units are being built and whatnot. But that's not even, as we know from it being a seller's market, that's not even servicing the population we already have and the need for people needing homes. But this is talking about 49,000 additional homes over and above what's needed there. And kind of going through what those needs are. So one stat that I found interesting was that in Ottawa, households with individuals or childless couples, so couples with 0 kids, make up 55% of Ottawa right now. But bachelor and 1-bedroom units only make up 15% of the supply, whereas 21% of housing being 2-bedroom units. So when you have 55% of the population as single or a couple with no kids, and there's only 15%, making up that supply, I thought that was a very interesting stat. Just kind of speaking to where you've got those people that are even, that are single or a couple with no kids, obviously needing to, or that are being forced to buy larger units, or single family homes or whatnot. That is, hindering that supply side as well, where, they're competing with the families with 4 and 5 kids, because there isn't enough supply even for them to find housing for them. So it's just talking about the evolution of the market and kind of that official plan of encouraging, not only intensification, but needing to intensification that's addressing, 3-4 unit, condos or 3 or 4 bedroom condos, things like that.
That's what I was going to wonder. They're going to have to build big units, or at least plan for larger dwellings, right? Because I think the plan last we heard was to build up, not out. So if they're building up, they're going to have, most condos are bachelor, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom.
there's an affordable housing project that's being built on Gladstone right near Preston. And, there was strips of older townhomes, Rochester and Gladstone, and they are in the process of redeveloping those, but they obviously identified that there are families in there, and you need those 3 and 4 bedroom homes for affordable housing and for these families. And so the building that they're putting in, and I think it's around 10 stories or so. It's actually a full mix of bachelors, 1 bedrooms, all the way to 4 bedroom units. And I think that's probably going to be indicative of what they're going to maybe push for on this official plan for builders, that it's not confined to just bachelors, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, that there is that addressing that need for the larger units. Again, obviously cost goes along with that. And so, it's balancing off that, and it's pretty difficult. It's got to be a very difficult process, I think, for these counselors that are having to look 25 years in the future. There's a lot of input. Obviously 100,000 people have in the community have voiced concerns or had an opinion. And so they're having to look now as to where that might go. Obviously you can pivot that plan, but that's based on zoning. That's based on what builders are going to build off of and individuals. So I think this will be interesting as this keeps evolving over time and what that'll look like.
Do you guys think that, and maybe it's too soon to tell, but like saying that, because a lot of people's situations have obviously going to change with work from home, right? And all of the, a 1 bedroom apartment might have been fine before for a 2-person couple, professional couple, but now with work from home, it's probably not, right? For a lot of people. So do you think that's going to kind of upend this entire plan, or do you think they're taking that into account at all?
Good question.
Great question, producer Steve. I think,
one of our avid listeners.
Yeah, I think they're, the plan this official plan isn't being set now. This moment, they're still in that phase, and it's been ongoing for a number of years. I certainly think that they're not going to be able to put anything in stone until the economy opens up and we really see whether this shift for more space is, if it's actually permanent or not, and what employers are wanting. Because I know from speaking to a number of business owners and CEOs of larger companies that they're saying that no, people are coming back to the office. We can't monitor them, even though we can see from their work computer, their IP address, where they're located. They're all geolocated on work computers and things like that. They know when their employees lying, and that the product, in a lot of cases, that their work levels have gone down and production has gone down.
Yeah,
so
I think the employees, when they did the polls, the polls that I've never been asked, and I'm sure you guys haven't either, these anonymous polls that are always asked, they said that only I think 28% of people said they wanted to go back to the office, but that's the employees and not the employers. So we might get a different statistic if you're asking the businesses themselves, right?
How many listeners right now, or people watching us live right now, are fed up with their kids screaming in the background while they're trying to work, or their dogs constantly barking at squirrels, and just that connection with your colleague. People trying to start in a new position. How do you build camaraderie? How do you even build that camaraderie to even move up in that position, to become a manager or anything like that, when people aren't able to really see you contribute or what that involvement is. So I feel that it'll take some time to see what the landscape will be in that respect from a work from home. And I think that will dictate what the demand for larger homes is, and whether things will kind of slow down on that higher end market, or at least that's my opinion. And I feel it will take a little bit of time for that to iron out before they really put their stamp of approval on this.
I think we're still going to be the transition. This whole transition is another years of just figuring out, because there's going to be some people now that just want to get out. They're going to want to go back to the office, but maybe whatever industry they're in, their employer's saying, well, you're never coming back. So then, what do those people do? they change careers or they stay, then they're stuck at home. How's their mental health? Like there's so many factors and everything right now.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it's going to look like.
There was the, I think it's Renfrew County, in the Valley. It was one of the townships in the Valley. Their business development, their township business development department started offering small and medium-sized businesses, and I think it's under 100 employees, a rapid testing machine for a COVID rapid tester that you can have. That they're giving it out. I don't know what other costs are associated. So if you live in that township or are an employer and have one, please reach out. But I don't know if there's ongoing costs for the swabs or whatnot, but these are for putting in their business so that, people coming to work and feel comfortable, and they can also make sure that, there's not an outbreak within their business, which then, stymies them or closes them down. And I feel that'll be something that will be, again, I've spoken to other business owners, many months ago that are medium-sized businesses that said they would love to have that in, where, at their business, people are feeling comfortable to work from the office. And also they, as owners, reduce their liability for an outbreak or for, from people getting sick, and able to keep the business going and not have these issues. So again, I think these are all things that as we're only just opening up, as we're just only getting the vaccination levels up or this testing equipment more accessible, and employers feeling comfortable of having people back, that we'll really see this transition in the work from home base. So that's my thoughts and my very roundabout way of answering that question, Steve. But
take a drink of water, David. Holy jumping. I like it. Holy moly. Dave's been thinking about that for months. He's like, God, I got this out. I remember reading an article earlier this year about developers, like builders, starting to think, because homes were for the last 10 years, homes have been transitioning into very open concept, dining room, living room, everything very open. And then recently they've, with the pandemic, they've been actually shifting to compartmentalizing the homes again, like having actual, like specific rooms for each individual thing, So I think we'll see a shift to that as well. And that's kind of to Stephen's point about, if they're doing these, if you have a couple, they might be looking at, as he said, like a 2-bedroom instead of one. So they actually have a designated office. One person can work here, one can work there. But again, we'll have to see, as Dave said, we'll have to see how things kind of shake out through different industries and how different employers approach that,
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Should we
bring back guest houses? That's my 2 cents on that. Bring back guest houses. I would love a backyard office that I could walk 20 feet to. It'd be amazing.
That's what we're working on.
That's what I should do with my shed.
Our next move.
Turn my shed into a guest house, an office.
Should we get into the mood boost?
Yeah, Greg, you had a couple stats. Did you want to?
That's right. I forgot.
Well, no, I think I kind of just said the stats briefly as I was doing my rant. 2,300 homes sold in May. Mm-hmm. That's up 70% from 2020. Again, 11% increase, 5-year average, and 3,200 new listings in May. It's still a seller's market. Average price around $650K. That's a 34% increase last year. So we're still up. And there's still not enough properties, even though all these are coming out, apparently, from what we're seeing.
Yeah.
But like I said, right now it's all over the place. It's anyone's guess. It's just literally, it's day by day. You go out, you got to look at the numbers, try to find true comparables, and make the best decisions. But it's definitely not cookie cutter, easy job.
So we have a guest next week, right, Greg?
Yes. Oh, yes. Next week, we have Irina Popova from Blue Panda Realty. She will be on talking about what she does and who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's actually one of the owners, right? One of 2 owners of Blue Panda.
She's one of the owners, and she's been in the business for quite a while. She has a great business. She's done well for herself. Had a baby just a while ago as well. So yeah, it'll be good to have her on and get her take on everything.
How many agents now at Blue Panda total?
37.
That's incredible growth. That's awesome. We should definitely, we'll pick our brain on that too. That's great. All right, mood boost. Should we slide
real
in?
quick
Sorry, Stephen.
because they're gonna disappear. There's just a couple comments that are kudos for you guys, and I know they're gonna disappear when we come off the air.
I can't see the comments for some reason. It's very strange.
So Sarah Potter has some kudos for Greg on behalf of her sister, who you helped out in Quebec, Mr. Campbell.
Oh yeah, I referred her to somebody, and apparently he did a good job, or he's doing a good job.
Dustin Poole has some kudos for Mr. Warren and helping him out with his financing.
Like it. Thank you. Thank you all.
We got fans. We do good work.
That's awesome. That's
what
funny.
happens
Dustin,
when you do good work, you get fans.
Yeah, Dustin's been kind of in our network for some time. So that's awesome that he was able to get something done. Okay, Friday mood boost. Let's do it. We got 3 today. First one's short. Number 1. To be frank, I'd have to change my name.
Yes.
All right. Number 2. Have you heard of Murphy's Law? That if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Yes. Well, have you heard of Cole's Law? No? It's mostly cabbage.
Holy moly.
And number 3. Lance is a very uncommon name nowadays, but in medieval times, people were called Lance a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
sir.
Maybe 1 for 3 there. Maybe.
Yeah.
You are correct.
All right. Well, gentlemen, have a great weekend. Hopefully you can get some people on the phone, Gregory, and to get you to respond to you.
Hopefully people pick up your calls.
I'm going for it. I gotta get some stuff done here. Yeah.
I like it. Well, everyone, local businesses are open. Small businesses are allowed to be open. Non-essential businesses are allowed to have you into their shop. Restaurant patios are open.
Streets are flooded with patios.
Go support your local businesses. Support the small businesses. Keep away from the Costco's if you can. Go to the little grocers. The independent chains, and have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Enjoy freedom.
See you guys.
All right, deuces.
The Ottawa Real Estate Podcast is brought to you by Referral Mortgages, Blue Panda Realty, and Stephen Hopkins Video. Thanks for tuning in, and please remember to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you.